Hi guys, and welcome to TechFurb. Today we're going to be taking a look at, well, something that's been the bane of my existence for the last week. We're taking a look at this piece of Okay, so the reality of this build is simply this. I wanted to do a video on doing a retro build. So in the case of this machine, we're looking at a Pentium 4, 1.8 gigahertz. It's running DDR RAM, DDR1 by the way, not DDR2, etc. I didn't also mention the Pentium 4 in this is actually a generation 1, so it's from 2001/2002. We're also rocking an Nvidia 4200 Ti with, I believe, 64 megabytes of VRAM. So yeah, it's not that great. IDE Hard Drive, 120 gig. We have a DVD burner, man. That was cool back then. You know, in this unit, we got the full proper beige case, some crappy PSU from the era, and you know, this fits the bill. It's a retro PC. That's it. At the end of the day, it runs Windows XP. And it's meant for running games like Halo 1, and if you really want to push it, probably Age of Empires 3, but even then, yeah, getting up there a little bit. Doom 3, probably a no-go, but, you know, it'll run those older titles from the probably early 2000s backwards, so that's kind of what the point of this system is. Now, that's great in theory. What I wanted to do the video on was, is this experience worth going through? And I can tell you now, at the time of recording this part of the video, I have not done any benchmarks on the system, but this system is set up. I'm not going to do any B-roll of me putting the system together. I'm not going to show you guys boards or anything like that. You can catch that content anywhere else, that's fine. I am focusing purely on the experience. So, from the top, experience of building system, not bad. You know, did end up with odd little cuts on my fingers and things like that from the old school, like, cases were sharp back then. It was pretty normal to get a cut in those days. And, you know, otherwise putting it together was fine. Mind you, I know what I'm doing. They didn't color code things on these old motherboards. It's not very obvious what plugs into what. And given the system is, like, well, the motherboard's like 17 years old, there's no manual for it. So I can't RTFM my way out of the problem. I have to kind of use my, you know, 10 years of experience of doing this crap to put it together. So, in terms of building, 1 thumb up, 7 out of 10 IGN. But that is where the easiness stops. So this is probably the video where I have to contain my rage. And yeah, I did. This is the second take I've done. The first take I did was 11 minutes of me ranting about how much I hate this computer. So we're going to do it a lot shorter this time. Short and sweet of it. XP install took two days. It took 2 days to install Windows XP on this. First problem I had, all my install media I have collected over the years is now corrupt. It doesn't work anymore. Yay! Problem number the second, I can't just download an XP image off the internet. It's not that easy to find anymore, which meant I would have to either A, rip an image from, you know, or I would have to download something off like a torrent site, which I don't particularly want to do. Luckily, I still have some of the ISOs that I've collected over the years on my machine, and I burnt it to a disk, and probably on about the 3rd attempt, it worked! Hooray! 2 days later, we're booted into Windows, we're looking at a welcome screen in Windows XP. Fantastic! From there, it should be smooth sailing. Right? Well, it wasn't. So, we're now 5 days from today when I'm recording, 5 days ago from today when I'm recording, I saw the welcome screen. 2 days from when I finished recording this, I had 90% finished setting up this machine. It took 3 freaking days to nearly set it up. Utterly painful. So let's rattle off the problems. Problem number the first, you want to install games on this thing. After all, it's a retro gaming PC, that's why we're not doing it. We're not doing it to experience what Microsoft Office was like in the early 2000s, because no one gives a crap about that. If you do, you are a very, very very boring person and you need to find a real hobby. I'm sorry, it's the truth. Deal with it. Anyway, ignoring that rant, installing XP, retro games. Okay, problem number the first, Steam support is ending. Problem number the second, Steam didn't want to freaking work with anything. I couldn't download anything onto the machine because as far as Steam was concerned, it couldn't talk to the servers. Wasn't a firewall issue, I disabled that. I could definitely download from Steam on my normal machine or any other machine in this house, but not on this one. So yeah, that was great. So that was my first night of just against the wall like this, okay? Pure frustration. Anyway, getting past that, I had the great idea. Why not download the games onto my normal PC and then copy them across the network to where they should be installed on this PC? That makes sense. It's what I do with any other machine I have. It always works. Didn't freaking work! I could not believe this. Steam did not bother to check if there was files in the install directory. It immediately tries to download something and goes, I can't download it. Error. Falls over. Fantastic. Hooray. So Steam is out. Do not rely on it. You can't use it. So if you're doing retro gaming and you have this like banked up library of like GTA 3 and all these cool old school games that will run on this, you can't install them. So good for you. That's great. Have fun. So from there, what else? We had Origin. Origin actually worked. There is a classic client that is still supported by Origin. Don't know how much longer it'll be supported, but still supported. And I was able to download some games onto that. I was able to download Medal of Honor, SimCity, a couple other things. It was great. That worked. It was incredibly painful, which brings me to my next pain point. Downloads on this thing, it couldn't reach the full 100 meg speed. Couldn't even get close to it. Peak download speeds I was seeing on this machine was like 3 meg a second. And I don't have a slow connection. I've got a quick connection. I've got a 100 meg connection here. I can tell you I hit 90 meg consistently on my normal machine any time of the day. This was not having it. Wouldn't do it. So, you know, another problem. When the Origin client is running, the CPU is running at 100%. Yeah, fantastic. So I can't express in words how infuriating this project was. So downloading games, if you are trying to do a retro build, it's out. Don't do it. What other problems do we have? So the good news was I was able to load in discs and like install them the old school way. That works fine. If you've got a library of old discs but don't have a system that can run said discs, you're golden. You just got to put up with installing XP. Apart from installing games, I'm trying to think what other issues I had. Browsers. Okay, so Firefox. You have to install like an ancient version of Firefox to get it to work. And you have to have like a somewhat like, you know, last 7 or 8 years at least version of Firefox to even access any websites in the internet. YouTube tells you to naff off unless you have like a modern version of the applications. And, you know, the modern version of Firefox does, in fact, install on XP. That's cool. But it runs like a dog's breakfast. 100% CPU usage as soon as you open it. You try and launch a web page, you can walk downstairs, flick the kettle on, then realise there's no water in it, turn the kettle off, pull it out, fill it up with water, plonk it down, flick the kettle on, stand there, make the coffee, drink the coffee, boil the kettle again, make another coffee, drink the coffee, come back up, hey, it's loaded at last. You know, like it's just incredibly slow. So yeah, reality check, it is painful. But I'm not going to leave this at a rant. This is, I guess, the labour component of setting up a system. It's the painful part that you have to go through. But what I haven't found out is if it's actually worth the pain of going through it. I have validated that some of the games do launch, so that's great. But I haven't got any benchmark numbers for you guys. But I don't want to do this as a here are the benchmark numbers, go forth and conquer. You know, what's the point of that? This is an old system. When you're building an old system like this, you're not going to be able to get a specific set of parts. You're scrapping together whatever you can find. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, you know, Pentium 4 1.8, 4200 Ti. Can it at least run these games? That's the perspective we're going to go from. I'm going to sit down in front of the machine, start playing some games, record the footage on the camera, and we are going to work out whether this experience, as painful as it's been for me so far, was actually worth it. Okay guys, so calm down my rage now. We're sitting down in front of the system, we're going to fire it up. And on the video, this is the first time I've fired it up. I don't actually have some speakers plugged in, unfortunately. Just didn't really have anything spare, so I can't give you guys the glorious XP booting sound. But hey, let's fire up this old beast. Alright, so like I said, we're not going to do any benchmarks where we're going to fire up, you know, the frames per second count and all that. We just want it to feel playable. So, with that in mind, let's play some Halo. Okay, so video setup here. We've got 800 by 600 resolution, 75 hertz sync rate, refresh rate, sorry. No VSync, and everything's turned off. So we're on low at 800 by 600. So let's see how this single player campaign goes. Alright, well, we're not getting any lags, that's good. This is not bad. Die, 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 die. Alright, so Halo's running pretty well, as we can see there. I'm pretty happy. Obviously it's running at the 800 by 600 resolution, but you know, it's running it. And when you're using an old monitor like this, it actually doesn't look as terrible. When you try and play games like these on like a modern 1080p panel, or hell, even like a crappy 720p panel, it just looks like garbage. So it's really good to see that, you know, this is actually pretty enjoyable. This is unlike the whole experience of setting up the bloody thing. So this is good. This is a good start. So we'll jump out of Halo, and let's see what other games we got on here. So we'll fire up TOCA Race Driver 3. This is one of my old favourites. It's like an older racing game. If you liked racing simulators like in the mid to early 2000s, TOCA Race Driver was like the game to play. And it also occurs to me they haven't shown you guys the actual hardware in this. So let's see if we can run TOCA Race Driver 3. Alright, so obviously new setup, so I haven't actually done, you know, anything in terms of like any races. I haven't done anything with this, but we're just going to experience it. Obviously on a keyboard it's terrible. I do have my G27 wheel that I can plug in, but I'm not going to do that because it's a pain in the ass to set up and it's not really going to mount to the desk. But hey, we're going to have a crack at this Autosport Clio. We're going to drive a Clio. So, oh, there we go. Steering left. Oh no. I can't press the left arrow key and accelerate at the same time. How dumb is that? Crappy old keyboard. I know it's like a low-end game and all, but it's running well. It's running well on this hardware. Yeah, it looks acceptable for the era, and yeah, let's go and smash a wall, see what happens. Whoa, that old school damage. Alright, so playable experience, so we're going well. That's TOCA Race Driver 3, so we're 2 for 2. Halo's running well, TOCA Race Driver 3 is running well. I don't know what settings this is running at, but again, old monitor looks fine on it, so not a bad experience with that one. Let's try and do Quake 3. I don't know if this will work because this is one of those Steam games that I was ranting about at the start. Alright, so this is that stupid error I kept getting before, so clearly it's still there. So yeah, Quake 3 is out. We can't run Quake 3, which is infuriating, but whatever. play some Counter-Strike. Alright, let's go and kill something. Ah. Well, I suck at that game, but this is running well, so yeah, Counter-Strike passed for me as well, so this is good. You know, it's horrible experience setting it up, but so far, you know, running these games, it's actually running pretty well. So I'm not rage quitting now. It's great. It's great. It's great. It's good. All right, let's play some SimCity 4. So 2003. Sounds like from the era. We'll give it a crack. This is a game that actually runs on Orange, and unlike Steam, it installed. So I get to play SimCity 4. Yeah. Oh, God. The hard drive's making noise and it's not doing anything. Oh, it's not making noise now. Oh, try the stupid thing. Buddy. Come on. Aha! It loaded. Alright, cool. That only took a minute and a half. Alright, we'll do the building city tutorial just because maybe that's going to be a bit strenuous. Oh, that's slow. Oh, so much lag. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's put a robot attack on him. Alright, so this is obviously running pretty well. It's a little bit slow to move around the map and all, but giant robot is destroying everything. Anyway, my tyrannical worldviews aside, I would say SimCity 4 is a pass. So, let's see if we can find another game that actually breaks it. Okay, cool. So I've got about probably 2 other games I want to try because, you know, this video is getting a bit long and I don't want to really drag it out for you guys. So we will see if we can run Age of Empires 3 and then we're going to try and run Doom 3. Oh, also sometimes that CD drive gets jammed and I have to like ram a freaking paperclip in there just to open the CD tray. It's fantastic. I love old computers. They're so much fun. Alright, so Age of Empires 3 is actually probably one of my favourite old school retro games. So I'm going to be quite disappointed if this can't run it. But considering this title was released in 2004, it might actually not run it very well. So let's see what resolution we're running at. Load faster, please. Alright. Alright, so this game's running pretty well. Obviously it might slow down a bit as the, you know, there's more buildings, more units, more calculations to do. But, you know, this game's running pretty well, so I'm happy. Age of Empires is a pass for me. Alright, so last one left is Doom 3. Again, I don't know if it'll run, but we'll give it a crack. Well, on that low note, I think that kind of concludes the benchmarks for me because I can't get the bloody thing to open because it's relying on Steam again. I guess... Alright. So, I guess in summary for you guys, is this whole crappy experience worth going through just to get a retro gaming PC? This is the ultimate question. I'm going to be honest, I don't think it is. I don't think it's worth going down the retro PC route, at least not this retro to run XP. If you have a library of old discs with the appropriate install keys, or you have the ability to actually get your hands on an offline installer that doesn't rely on like Steam or Origin or one of these game clients, it might be a different story. But I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty disappointed in the whole experience. I thought this would be a fun project, but I'm kind of sitting here at the end of it never wanting to do this again. So yeah, if you want the conclusion of this video, here it is. Don't build a retro PC unless you really frickin' want to, and even then I guarantee you're going to regret it. So yeah, there it is. I guess leave a like if you liked it. Leave a dislike if you disliked it. Comments down below if you have any questions for me, or you feel that I'm just carrying on like a sook and I just need to suck it up and enjoy the experience. Get subscribed if you haven't got subscribed to the channel yet. And yeah, I mean, I'm sorry I'm so deflated at the end of this video, but it's been a disappointing experience for me. If I've learned anything, it's probably that the only thing you need to do is get like a monitor from that era and find a way to plug it into your either modern or semi-modern computer and just run the games from like a modern Steam client on a modern OS, and you'll be golden. It'll look great. Yeah, this experience is not worth it at all, 100%. I know it's fun to play these games, but I can do it on my normal PC and I don't have to deal with this crap. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will come to you with a far more positive video next time, I guess. Bye.